Like, comment, and share.
Ìran àgbẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní àró, ìran àlùkò wọn a máa lò sùn, ìran lékelèké àwọn a máa ní ẹfun. Mo tún kí gbogbo wa lónìí wípé ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò wa fún tòní. Mo kí ọmọdé, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí àgbàlagbà, mo kí ọkùnrin, mo kí obìnrin, mo kí ọmọdé, mo kí àgbàlagbà, nítorí pé ewúrẹ́ tó wọlé tí ò kágò ó di ẹran àmúso. Àgùntàn tó wọlé tí ò kágò òun náà mà di ẹran àmúso. Wọ́n ní à ń nàró kí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ ọ̀ọ̀ni, ṣe ni wọ́n ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ kí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ òye lágbo. Èmi ọmọ yín, ọ̀rẹ́ yín, olólùfẹ́ yín, àbúrò yín, ọmọ yín, Omoboriowo ayé kò tọ́ náà ni èmi ń jẹ́. Ayé sì kò tọ́ lóòótọ́ o, nítorí pé ẹni tó bá jẹ́ olóòótọ́ ìlú òun náà ni wọ́n máa ń pè ní ìkà ìlú. Ṣùgbọ́n a máa sọ tí mo sì mọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn yóò padà máa gbọ́ wa, torí pé gbogbo ohun tá a bá ṣe lónìí ọ̀rọ̀ ìtàn ni, nítorí pé ìtàn ní tàná, ìtàn ní tòní, ìtàn ní tọ̀la, ìtàn ni yóò padà máa sọ rẹ̀ pé lágbájá sọ báyìí, tàmẹ̀dó sọ báyìí, ìtàn òun náà ni yóò padà wá dà. Lónìí èèyàn wa tí ẹ wà pẹ̀lú wa, a jọ tún mọ jẹ ìgbádùn ètò tòní bí òyìnbó ṣe ń gbádùn sìgá. Àmọ́ ẹ̀yin tí ẹ sọ pé kí a bọ́ sí orí TikTok lágbára Ọlọ́run, a ṣe bí eréberé, a gbìyànjú àti wọ orí TikTok lónìí, àmọ́ ó ṣeéṣe kí ẹ má rí àwọn àlejò wa bí wọ́n bá ṣe ń sọ, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ máa gbọ́ wa kétékété bí àwa náà bí a bá ṣe ń sọ. Lónìí kí ni tá a tún mú wá fún wa lónìí? Gbogbo wa lẹ ti mọ ètò yìí tá a mọ̀ sí ìmọ̀ràn àgbà. Òun náà ni ètò tòní tá a mọ̀ sí elderly advice, ọ̀ká pè ní the wisdom of elders. Òun náà ni ohun tá a jọ mú wá fúnra wa lónìí. Àwọn bàbá wa tí ẹ ti mọ̀ bí ẹni mowó, tí wọ́n ti ń bá wa dá sí ètò yìí láti ọjọ́ yìí, àti fi àyè sílẹ̀ kí àwọn èèyàn kí wọ́n pè wọlé, nítorí pé a fẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn kí wọ́n nígbàgbọ́ nínú ètò yìí bí a ṣe ń ṣe, kó tó di pé a ó mọ sọ pé kí ìbéèrè àti ohun tó jọmọ́ ìbéèrè àti tí àwọn èèyàn fẹ́ mọ̀ nípa bí nǹkan ṣe lọ bí yóò ṣe máa wọlé ní pẹrẹu. Ṣùgbọ́n lónìí kí tún lohun tí a máa sọ lónìí, ohun tá a tún máa sọ lónìí, ohun tó tún lékeka, tó tún lé pàtàkì, tó yẹ kí èmi àti yín, tó yẹ kí a tún mọ̀ lónìí ni. À ń gbìyànjú àti wọ orí live, òun náà ni à ń gbìyànjú àti wọ̀ báyìí látòrí TikTok wa, kí àwọn èèyàn wa náà tí wọ́n wà ń bẹ náà, káwọn náà kí wọ́n lè bá wa dá sí, ká lè wo ohun tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, òun náà ni tí à ń ṣe lọ. Àmọ́ bá ṣe ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ yìí, èèyàn wa tí ń wò wá ní orí Facebook, tí wọ́n wò wá lórí YouTube, tí wọ́n wò wá lórí Twitter, ẹ dákun ẹ dábọ̀ ẹ bá wa share àwọn ètò yìí, torí pé lónìí ètò yìí yóò gbọmọkùn. Àwọn ìbéèrè kan wà tí mo bàbá léèrè lónìí. Ìbéèrè yìí àwọn tí wọ́n kọ́ ní ọdún 1947, wọ́n kọ́ ní ọdún 1946, wọ́n kọ́ ní ọdún 1948. Àwọn ìbéèrè mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta tí màá máa bi wọ́n léèrè lónìí òun náà nìyí, torí pé Yorùbá ó ní ẹ wá ìmọ̀ kì bá ṣe pé wà nínú ìwúlẹ̀. Màá máa gbé bàbá wa tí mo fẹ́ fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dárúkọ wọn, màá máa gbé wọn wá sí orí wọn pé kí wọ́n bá mi kọ́kọ́ kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ jẹ́ ọmọ wọn, torí ọmọ ni bàbá, ẹ bá mi kí àwọn ọmọ yín tí wọ́n ń wò yín nílé. Ẹ ṣé púpọ̀.
Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín pé ẹ tún pè wá pé ká wá bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ léèrè. Ẹ káàbọ̀ from wherever you are. Welcome. Thank you very much for listening to us and for watching us. This will not mean anything. It will not achieve anything if we didn't have you to listen. So mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín gan ni o pé you are here with us to share knowledge, to share idea. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is the Yoruba leadership problem. Kí ló ṣe wá tí à ń ní àwọn olórí tó dáa? This is a very, very important topic, and it is something that we need to be aware of, and we need to find a solution to it. Because it is the lack of leadership that is our biggest problem in Yoruba land. The first time I think that I came across the murderous activities of the Fulani in Yoruba land was with the killing of Dr. Fatai Aburode. I didn't really know much about what was going on at that time. It was on the 11th of September 2020. Dr. Aburode was hacked to death. He was hacked to death. They used machetes, they used swords. These are really a pack of savages. And what was his sin? This man left his family in the UK, took his money to Nigeria to create a farm, a 400-acre farm. And what did the Buhari's Fulani government, what did they do? They were very quick to condemn Igboho for suggesting that the Fulani herders should be evicted from the forest. But they ignored completely the gruesome murder. 6th of June 2021, Fulani terrorists, they attacked Iganga, and this is again one of those important part of Yoruba history that we must never forget. This was Iganga was a small town in Oyo State. So these Fulani terrorists, what did they do? They killed people for no good reason. They killed 20 people in cold blood. They burned down the palace. And over the next 2 years, periodically, these savages, these Fulani savages, they attacked the Gaga without any, fear at all. They were not afraid because they knew they were not going to be apprehended. And one of the videos that shocked me, which somebody said to me, was the Fulani lining up people. They've already tied them up. They lined them up by the side of a mass grave, and they were cutting off their heads and then threw them in the mass grave. This was the sort of thing that I never expected that one would ever see in Nigeria. And what happened? The Fulani elites, mighty Allah, to which an organization to which Buhari belonged, they supported the killers. This was the president of Nigeria was in a group that was financing and supporting these killers. And Igbo's involvement then became bigger, and then he got involved in the mega rallies, which were very successful. Very successful. The idea of the rallies was to mobilize the Yoruba people to say, look, we need to get these people out of our forests. Those rallies were very successful, and they rattled the Nigerian government. And what happened next was that one of the Yoruba Opas, Ooni of Ife, then went to Buhari, to Abuja, to Buhari, to say, Igbo is, my customary son, he's just for blooded, we are going to deal with him. And because of that visit empowered Buhari to then send his killers to try to kill Igbo, which is, fortunately, Igbo escaped and went into exile in Benin Republic. Even after he had gone to Benin Republic, Buhari was still pursuing him in Benin Republic. Not a single Oba, not a single governor, not a single legislator, as far as I can tell, visited the governor. So, or people commiserate with Dr. Abuede's family. So all these activities were taking place in the governor. A town in Oyo State, and not one Oba, not one legislator, nobody paid any attention. It's as if nothing happened. On the 5th of June 2022, Fulani terrorists went to Owo. People were worshipping in the church. This was the St. Francis Xavier Church in Owo. Using gunfire bombs, they assaulted the church. They desecrated the church. They killed at least 80 unarmed worshippers, including children. I think probably about 12 children. And these people were attending Mass for the Pentecost on a day that I think it was the governor who called it the Owo Black Sunday. This is again another historical, another important event in the history of the Yoruba. The Owo Black Sunday, it took place on the 5th of June 2022. Before that massacre, the Fulani have been carrying out low-level insurgency in our area, in Ondo State. And what happened after this genocide had happened? Shortly afterwards, Buhari had a party with his people. Shortly after this happened, of course, you had the usual condemnation. He was having a party shortly after, with no concern for the pain and the suffering and the fact that so many people were killed. Pope Francis, who is the head of the Catholic Church, what did he do? He prayed. That's all he did. He prayed. Then other Catholic organizations like the aid of for the church in need. What did they do? They made statements. They asked everybody to condemn it, but they did nothing. And the governor of Ondo State and the Olowo himself, the Oba, so what did they do? They intervened, but only to prevent reprisal attacks. They said, no, don't attack these people who have killed so many. You know, the law will deal with it. Again, despite all these bogus claims, nobody, none of the killers have paid for this heinous crime. Nobody. Then we go to Ogun State. The farming communities at Ogun State, particularly in a place called I'm not quite sure whether it's called Yewa or Yewa. For several years, these people have suffered atrocities perpetrated by Fulani herdsmen killers. For years, these herdsmen were intent on taking Yoruba land, Yoruba communal land. So how did they go about it? They murdered as many as they could. They raped women. They destroyed farms. They used their cows to pollute the water resources. So the villages, this is in Ogun State. So the villages laid in ruins with their souls ripped out, and the inhabitants, what did they do? They fled to the neighboring country. They fled in their thousands. We are not talking of a few people, in their thousands. Today, they are still there in Benin Republic. They have no idea. These people, these Yoruba people that have been forced out of their villages by the Fulani, they have no idea when it will be safe for them to come back home. They have no idea whether, when they return home, there will be some village there for them to return to. And what has the Ogun State government done? Absolutely nothing meaningful. Absolutely nothing meaningful. In order to justify they are doing nothing, what are the state officials saying? They say, oh, this is farmer had a clash. This is just a clash between two communities, the herders and the farmers. So a farmer stays in his farm, is doing his job. These savages bring their cows to destroy his farm, and you say this is a clash. Our own government officials, they were sanitizing the massacre of their people. They were making equivalence between the killers, the perpetrators, and the victims, the poor farmers, the poor defenseless farmers. So let's look at it. Oyo State, Ogun State, Ekiti State. The Yoruba people in each one of these are naked and exposed to Fulani savages who has been treating them, they were hunting them as if they were prey. So we have Oyo State, then Ogun State, then Ekiti State. Our people left naked by their own government, left naked and exposed for Fulani savages to hunt them as if they were prey. Yet, we Yoruba, we have no shortage of leaders. The whole place is full of leaders. We have the Obas. These are, I think they call themselves the Ibakeji Orisha, the second in command to the Orisha. These are the leaders that our custom and traditions chose for us. It turns out that today's Oba is only a hireling, chosen for us and paid for by Nigeria's government. So where in the past we chose our own Oba, now the government chooses the Oba for us. Even at the time of the colonialists, when Britain was in charge, they never chose the Oba for us. They never chose the Oba. Even Lagos, where the bombarded and captured Lagos and made it a colony. They didn't choose Oba for us. Now, the state governor can pick anybody as the Oba. What about the politician? The Yoruba politician is also a leader for us. But in the past, it was chosen by a Yoruba political party, which was in those days called the Action Group. What about today? Of course, today, the politician is now another hireling, which was chosen for us in accordance with the whims of the illegitimate Fulani Constitution of 1999. So before, we had a Yoruba party, the Action Group, that knew what we wanted, that looked after us. Now, we have people that have been chosen by the illegal Fulani Constitution of 1999. So that they have no loyalty to us as Yoruba people. Okay, so let's move on. Let's say, okay, what about the various Yoruba organizations that have been formed by what I call the Olori Egbe? We've got Afenifere, and we've got other organizations. These organizations were formed for the specific purpose of liberating the Yoruba people, just like Castro did, just like Gandhi did, just like Mandela did. That's what these leaders were supposed to be doing. Just like these three historical examples, Castro, Gandhi, and Mandela. But again, it turns out that today's Oriegbe is not chosen by us, it's chosen by his mates, his acolytes. So what does he do? He goes on a frolic of his own. Okay, we've got another lot of Yoruba leaders. These are the reverends, the pastors, the alufa, or whatever it is you want to call them. They tell us that they were chosen by God, the God of Israel or the God of Mecca, to give us a beautiful life. That's what they tell us. It turns out that they are no different from the others either. It turns out that they are not chosen by God, but by the amount of money they could make from the poor people. So we have them having their own, I don't know, their Rolls Royce, their own private jets, and so on. These are the leaders that are chosen not by us, but by others for us. So it turns out that sadly for us Yoruba people, we have leaders who are toothless tigers. Toothless tigers. I don't know if you know what the expression toothless tiger means. It's an expression. It is used to describe somebody who appears powerful like the tiger, but in reality is powerless. A toothless tiger is an individual who claims to be strong, but is in reality a fat, completely weak. Remember, in his domain, the tiger was a fearsome cat. He used his teeth to bite, hold, slice, tear. He used his teeth to penetrate deeply into the prey. The tiger depended for survival on its teeth. So for a tiger to have no teeth is a disaster of monumental proportions. The Yoruba leaders of today, they show themselves to be toothless tigers when they are confronted with Fulani atrocities. Completely toothless. So what do? We go to church, we pray, because we believe that there must be redemption. Even a toothless tiger, we think, still has some courage and some will that he will start to defend himself. That's why we go to church. We think, well, even a toothless tiger still has claws that he could use. Let me give you an example of what, even if you are a toothless tiger, you could do. Suppose Yoruba were to declare a date of mourning for the Bodhidharma victims. Suppose he declared a funeral march from Makurdi to Bodhidharma. Suppose he then said, I'm going to be there with you. I'm going to address this march, this funeral march. So he's declared a date for a funeral march to go from Makurdi to Bodhidharma. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of Yoruba people will attend that rally. And the Fulani will take notice. Sadly for us, the Yoruba won't do it. And just contrast it with what the Ibadan people did in the 1800s. When the Fulani attacked Ilorin, it was Ibadan that went there, defeated the Fulani, and drove them out of Ilorin. Just contrast that with what Ibadan is like today. Suppose, Professor Akin, let me just quickly finish this train of thought. Suppose Professor Akintoye, who is our Olori Egbe of the Yoruba self-determination, himself a Kitiman, suppose he were to declare a day of mourning for the Ekiti and the Kwara Oba that the Fulani savage is just murdered. Suppose he called for a funeral march from, say, the government house in Ado-Ekiti to the palace of the Ewi. Suppose he did that. Suppose he then said, I will be present at that rally, at that funeral march, to address all of you in person. There will be thousands upon thousands of Yoruba people who will attend that rally. And the Fulani will take notice. Sadly, Professor Akintoye won't do it. If you now contrast that to what Awolowo did in the 50s and the 60s, during the negotiation for independence, he made sure that the Yoruba were protected. That's why we had the Western region, which was a sovereignty on its own, which was semi-autonomous on its own. None of our leaders have that caliber. We don't have that caliber of leadership. People who say, this is my people, this is where I want them to go, and I don't care anybody else. Now, you are going to ask me a question, right? You or something.
Actually, Daddy, yes, I'm going to ask you a question, but before I will ask you.
I haven't finished.
Okay. Now, of course, let me just make it intermediary because the Prophet Ologunloluwa is here, because I could remember that you said that in our last program that you want, why do we stop the rally? Although that time it was communicated on the phone and he told you some of things that I've put in place, that the rally is not stopped and it's because of people are not contribute or people are not supporting. That is why it feels like the rally stopped. Now, he has been moving from one place to another to let people know that the youth are in charge of control now, because we believe that it's only the youth can do this thing, not the elderly people now. You can only seek for your advice. I call it IMORAN AGBA. You can only seek for your advice. How do we go about it? Because in Yoruba, one in tí àgbàlagbà bá rí, tí ọmọdé bá rí, tí tó bá jókòó or what? Àbáwọn ṣe máa ń sọ, tí àgbàlagbà ní tọmọdé bá rí tó bá nàró, àgbàlagbà bá jókòó, ọmọdé yẹn ò lè rí, tí ń bá gbà, ọkàn sọ pé tí àgbàlagbà bá rí tó bá jókòó, tọmọdé bá gorí àjà, ọmọdé yẹn ò lè rí. I corrected myself now. Merci Dr. Sabini. Mama ngo mi. Mojuba àwọn àgbà. So now Prophet Ologunloluwa is with us. Then I want him to say because we have a rally. I mean, no, not a rally. We have seminar, not even a seminar rather. We want to launch the Yoruba Youth website, which as a starting point to gather the Yoruba youth together, to have the same mindset to communicate together. And the leader of Yoruba youth, both home in the diaspora, or let me say in the diaspora, is Prophet Ologunloluwa, while Omeyo is leader of youth in homeland. So that is how we scatter ourselves in order to communicate and to have a very flow chat. So Prophet Ologunloluwa, welcome to our program today, IMORAN AGBA. This is what the program that we are doing with Babawa, Dr. Bashegun Olusola Oni. I'm welcome you to the onboard, sir.
Thank you so much, everybody. Yeah, I remain. My name is also the Prophet Ologunloluwa, the Coalition Youth Leader in the Diaspora. Thank you.
Now, Prophet Ologunloluwa, now mo fẹ́ bi nléèrè àwọn ìbéèrè kan tí bàbá ti béèrè. Bàbá ní pé why do we stop the rally? Because one béèrè question in the last week.
Okay, can I just? I think that the question will come pertinent.
Okay, sir.
When I finish this section, because I think it is important. I mean,
for you to wrap this that program for you. Okay. All right.
No. I think this section, because I've talked about how our leaders are toothless.
Yes.
Toothless tiger. What I wanted to end up with was what we could do as people ourselves.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. You can continue, sir, then.
Okay. I may also, if time allows, distinguish between vision and roadmap. And I'm doing that because my younger brother challenged me today and said to me that, the time has come for me to provide a roadmap. So if time allows, I'm going to try and distinguish between vision, which is what I think I am imparting, and roadmap, which is a totally different entirely, which is a means of actualizing the vision. Well, let me just carry on for a minute. The current situation in Yoruba land where we have no leaders is not tenable. We cannot continue like this. It's just not possible. And it is also not possible for some people who think, oh, all you have to do is keep your head down, live in the survival mode, and you'll be fine. It's not an option either. And the reason is that the reality of Yoruba life today is this, that if the Fulani don't get you today, they will get you tomorrow. That's just the reality. So if anybody thinks, oh, well, if I keep my head down and nobody sees me or whatever, I'm safe. It's not an option. Because if they don't get you today, you don't know where you're going to come across them. And just imagine, these people bombed Bodija, the most affluent part of Ibadan. And remember, Ibadan is the political capital of the Yoruba nation. So if they could bomb the capital of Yoruba nation, they can get you. And when we talk about leadership, yes, leaders give society a purpose and a vision. That's what leaders do. Yes, leaders guide a society. So what happens if you don't have that guide? The people have to look after themselves. If people don't look after themselves, they will struggle with direction, which is what we will just be like headless chicken, which is what we are now as Yoruba people, is that because we have no leaders, or at least no effective leaders, we are all over the place. And what happens is that eventually you become docile, which is what we are now. We are docile people. What we need to do is that at this point in time, we need to say to ourselves, one, we have no leaders. And two, our salvation lies in doing things for ourselves as a mass of people. Two things. We need to accept, not just criticize and say, no. We need to accept that we have no leaders. We need to accept that. We then need to go on from there to say our salvation lies in our own hands, not in the hands of leaders, because we have no leaders. So what are the options? What options do we have? I have two options that I will suggest. Option number one, which option A, is civil disobedience. Option number two is people power. What do you mean by civil disobedience? You mean a symbolic violation of the law. That's what we are talking about, symbolic violation of the law. We are entitled, we have the right to resort to this, to civil disobedience, because there's a substantial and clear injustice. The injustice is substantial and it is clear. The Fulani savages are allowed to raid in Yoruba land because the Yoruba are prevented from defending themselves. The federal government says you can't have guns, but they are quite happy to see the Fulani savages carry AK-47. Civil disobedience means you don't do anything that will destabilize the entire system of law. That's not what we want to do. We do not wish to destabilize the entire system of law. And an historic example of this is the refusal of Abeokuta market women to pay taxes during the colonial regime. If you remember, Funmilayo Ransom Kuti led these women on various activities because they refused to pay tax and they wanted to be represented in the council. And one of the things that they did, which we need to think about very carefully, was that they set up camps in the Alakis Palace. So they had their protest camps in the Alakis Palace. Under our culture, under Yoruba culture and tradition, the palace ground does not belong to the Oba. The palace belongs to us. Just like the embassy of the country belongs to that country, our palace belongs to us. And therefore, because it is our property, we could go there and set up anything we like. So we could set up anywhere we like in the palace grounds. The second example, because that's one example. The second example is the Agbekoya movement. I don't know, most people probably don't know about the Agbekoya movement, which was farmers rejecting treatment. That was the revolt of 1968. And the clever thing that they did, the leaders did, was to go from village to village to convince people. So they went from, this is in the Bible, they went from village to village to convincing people, you are suffering, this is what they are doing to you, you shouldn't take it, you shouldn't accept it. So that's one, so that's what I call civil disobedience. The plan B, or the second option for us, is people power. And that is what the Arab Spring has shown us, that crowds can wield as much power and influence as the leaders purported to be in charge. So by enthusing and empowering the Yoruba people, the Omega rallies of 2021, I think, they petrified Nigeria's leaders. They were all afraid, they were all petrified by the mega rallies. That is what is called people power. And that people power can lead us out of Nigeria. Anybody who tells you otherwise, Yoruba, the people, expression of people power can get out of Nigeria. And in my view, we must return to rallies immediately. Thank you. Now, I've only got 10 minutes left because I've got to go I have another commitment.
All right, sir. Eshigani. Now,
Hello.
Hello. We are hearing you, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Before you start your operations,
all right, sir.
I need to quickly comment.
Okay, sir.
What Dr. Oni has been saying.
All right, sir.
There are some places where I agree totally with him, but there are areas where I will say no. If he talks of the Aborode case, he talked of the Gogo, they are all okay. Even coming to think of it, there are cases where a lot of people, they came out and they are saying that the Aborode case was a political mandated crime, which has nothing to do with the Fulanis. Either few of us, they know themselves. Where I'm going exactly is that if Dr. Oni says we do not have a leader, I will not agree. We have Yoruba leaders, but they are narrower leaders. They are corrupt leaders. Since the death of Awolowo, and all leaders that came in from Adesoya to Antonoti to whoever is there now, they are all there for their pockets, and they are all there not for the interest of the Yorubas.
That's why he said. That's why he said we don't have leaders.
You are saying exactly what.
Give me a minute again.
I'm going to go in 2 minutes. What I'm saying to you is that I don't see the disagreement. I don't see this disagreement at all. You're saying exactly the same thing.
I do not disagree with you. I'm just bringing in some points which, to me, I do not totally agree with. And that is what exactly I'm saying. Like in the case of Owo, in the case of Ogun, in that Oyewa community, which they are okay. The one question we need to ask ourselves is this: is he now? What has he done? He hasn't done anything. Nígbà táwọn Hausa wà bẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n wà ara wọn láti ṣe whatever tó bá fẹ́ ṣe. Nígbà tí Tinubu débẹ̀ ṣe, the same thing tí Buhari ṣe tán empower ara wọn, òun náà ló yẹ kó ṣe fún wa. Ẹ kí ẹ imagine kan, nígbà tí Tinubu wà ní gómìnà Èkó, ó try ní àti create more local government ní Èkó. Or recreate. So the simple the president, she going to create any. So Ukota and Sonny Pay, Yoruba Tani as leaders. We are corrupt leaders, not that we don't have a leader, sir. Thanks.
Okay. Well, I've only got 1 minute. I'm going to go, unfortunately. I should be back by about 7-ish.
Okay, let's before you left, I think
the discussion is still going on. I'll join you when I come back.
Yes, that's what I said. Before you left, at least Prophet Ologunoluwa should have said just in 1 minute. Prophet Ologunoluwa, you are on board now, please. And I want our daddy who just spoke now, we will still come back to you concerning the question, because they said we don't.
I really have to go now.
Okay, no problem. Sir, no problem, sir. We'll allow you to go.
When I come back, which will be in about 45 minutes,
okay,
still the process.
Okay.
I'll join you.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, sir.
Okay.
So let me bring Daddy on board. Because Professor Ologunoluwa, you can continue. Then when I'm bringing Daddy to join you on this program, because I think that Daddy always says something like that. We have a leaders, but the problem is that our leaders are corrupt. It's the same thing that Dr. Chief Olusola was saying, that we don't have a leader, and then you look it in their own perspective area that we have those leaders, but they are corrupt leaders, and that's exactly what we are saying. Our leader is corrupt, and he mentioned concerning Awolowo that, and then the Tinubu, that when Buhari is there, he brought his own people into on board, and then why the Tinubu did not do the same thing. I think Daddy Prophet John Ogunriola, he have mentioned the part that concern the youth to follow. And then the reason why the youth is wake up at this time, that youth wanted to seize the power and to lead the struggle. So I'm giving the audience to you what you have to say concerning this.
Well, excuse me. Who will the youth?
That is what
you remember there was a time
leaders here. Who is Prophet Ologunloluwa? Now, that's why we call this program, sir. We call this program IMORAN AGBA. That is elderly advice. If you look at the topic of this program, you will see it. I purposely choose this topic, that IMORAN AGBA. We need you, sir. We need your advice, because you have seen a lot in this world. You know what has happened during the Awolowo regime. You know what has happened in 1940, 1960, 1970, 1980, 1999. You know how Nigeria was created. We are not alive at that time, but we read some story that this is how Nigeria was created. We are created from River Niger and River this and River this. The person that is named more is Laura Shaw, who is a journalist woman, who is later married Loluga, and so on and so on and so forth. We understand this story, but you are there, you know the story more than us. You can give us your own idea, your own advice. How do we need to go about it? Of course, you have mentioned the issue of Sunday Igboho. Is it Sunday Igboho to stop the struggle or to continue the struggle? What is your advice? That is why Prophet Ologunloluwa is also here. We are trying to gather the youth. We need your own advice, and then the program will come up on Saturday. We want you to be part of the program also. We need your advice as a leader. We want to learn from you. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Once again, all glory to God, and and to assist this time, since to appreciate our father, Emeritus Banja Stoye, and I would like to really talk about what our daddy just said now. That is our daddy John Ogunrinola. Daddy said that we have the leaders, but they are not functioning, and it's nothing but the truth and the good point. Truly, we have leaders, truly, but they are not effective. Yeah, in that case, most of the leaders we have, we as a youth as well, we have approached them times without number to let them know our aims and objectives. But we are rejected just because they refuse to lead. They refuse to show up they refuse to show the good example of being a leader. Like Baba Fashionati, I personally have approached Baba Fashionati. I've approached the Ulufalai by myself. I've approached a lot of them. You understand? But what the response that we got from them is nothing, because they are not there for us. They are there for themselves. They don't care about the masses. They don't care about anybody. They care about themselves. So, which shows that these people, we can say partially, are leaders, because the leaders showed by the example. But they are never shown an example one day ever since we have been approaching them. They knew what is going on in the town. They know what is going on in the city. They know what people is facing. But they have never one day come up to address all the problems that is going on in the society. That shows they are not playing the roles of leaders. So that is the reason why we agree with our daddy Ogunrinola that truly we have the leaders, but we are not talking. So something that is not working for you is as if you don't have it. So that will go to the side of Bashegun. If Bashegun said that we don't have leaders, that will relate it to what he said. Because when we have something and something is not working, it's not functioning, you didn't see any effects of that thing, that means you don't have it. It's as if that you don't have it. So, but we know that they are there, but they are not functioning for us. Now, I will not go to the issue of the youth. When we are talking about the youth, youth, we are talking about the young people. They are not only represent the cultures of the countries alone. We are all one of the society's men and agents of the change and the progress. We're having a great effect and the economic development too in this stage of our lives. And we build many society relationships and develop a personalities that define us as a new generation. But when we are being neglected in the society, it means that we are not existing. It means as if that we are not being recognized in the society. But now, that is why we came up on the board to let all the whole world know that the generation we have this time is the generation of the youth. Truly, like our fathers, like Baba Omoboriowo is a father to every one of us. Baba Sheikh is also a father to everybody. Now, these are the leaders that we have seen now. Because with their age, they still came out and make a voice louder to everybody to know that we are still there. We want everything to be okay for the youth. We have a good mind, we have a conscience, we have a mind, and we have a lot to contribute towards the development and the economy of this of the society and on this struggle as well. That's the big kudos to them. We have a lot of leaders, we have a lot of elderly people there who doesn't care about what is going on now. Who never come out to address in order to bring a more development in the society and on this struggle. So people do, and they will live long in the mighty name of God. And in the name of our Alale, they will live long by God's grace. Now, when we are talking about these issues, we the youth now, we are coming on the board to sensitize everybody and to let them know that we are ready for the struggle. Because this struggle is for the youth. It's for the youth. Like Baba now, like Baba Johnson, Omoboriowo now. If they say Baba, okay, when this happen now, can Baba still run a 100-meter uniform? No. But where Baba is sitting now, Baba can run 1,000 meters. Papa can be on the chair and run 1,000. How? By sending the youth out. You go and do this, you go and do this, you go and do this. That means we are still saying the man sitting on the chair. So it means that our nature now, we are working towards that, we are targeting now. It means that we are really there for us to get what we are planning for. So in society now, we have come up to bring up with ideas, to come up with a different ideas, to bring all the peoples together, to reason together, to bring together, and to see how we can move this struggle forward. In other way, to let everybody know that the importance of this struggle is not meant for the youth alone, it's not meant for the elderly people alone, but it's for the and the growth of all the people in our lands. So now, like I said, we are ready to move the struggle up and to generalize everything in development of the Yoruba race. Now, like as your questions are go about the youth and the rally issue. In the aspect of this, we started this rally, and then when the goal came on the board, you can see that everybody recognized, give a lot on the problem.
And the youth turn out
For the rally, youth. So it means that wherever the youth is voicing out, everybody will be there, will be present there. So we are coming up again, and in the issue that happened to Igbo or Igbo is none of it, that the rally is not functioning, that means doesn't mean that the youth as scared out of the struggle. No, but right now, we can of our forefathers to defend the interest of our ancestors, to defend. And now that we are coming up now with all the every planning that we have on the table, all what we just need is from all our leaders, our elders, our leaders, which is the Babakstoy. Igbo is also our leader. We have some elderly, like a Baba Bashi now. He's also our leader. He's an elderly man and he's also our leader. Like Baba Guri Olana. He's our leader as well. And it's also it's our elderly daddy. So we know all this one. So that is why we bring everybody together on the table and that, sir, man, we need your help. We are the youth and we are still young and we might know. Can you please give us and what step that we on the very
it back? Because yes, I think we are back on live now. Okay. Doctor. Doctor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. You are back. Now, I wanted to ask now. Thank you so much. We are back. We already lost. Thank you so much that we are back on our the network. Now I'm going to the doctor because Prophet Ologululuwa have already explained what the youth need to do. And then we want you to advise the youth. Oh, please, we need your advice. And then you said that we should have created forums. Yes, I try to create that forum, and you also will be the one who invited those that we need, those elders who have it the same mindset with you, that can contribute to this program, that can advise the youth in the necessary thing that need to do. So, which is me, that after, as you said, then we'll see how the program will go. So, sir, you're on board, sir. Please, you can contribute to what Prophet Olugunoluwa said, that we need your advice.
I'm hearing you.
Yes, you can hear me well, but outside, that's why I will have your contacts. I can send this program. You will see that we're having some issue with the network. I don't just have this conversation recorded, then I can just post it on the page when it, this is coming up. So, like I was saying, sir, Igbo doesn't have representation.
I mean, it is not a day. It is not a 2 days. It won't be that party will still be there, and you they will continue to mobilize each other, to mobilize themselves. until one day they be able to say, okay, we are now out and we want to take over. So I have to call a friend of mine who was outside that the commissioner for police. I called on him and he came to me and we both was very, very disgusting. Who I saw there, I saw Beko, Baba Omodola. The police there, they are all Yorubas. Who organized the arrest are Yorubas. They were Yorubas. So the thing is, a ní àwọn agbẹ̀yìn ẹgbọ̀jẹ́ tó pọ̀ nínú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá mọ́sọ̀ nínú àwọn ẹgbẹ́ groups wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá rí nǹkan ara orúkọ ara òwò ẹ̀dẹ̀ ìyẹn ni ó wà nínú Afẹ́nifẹ́re ní ẹrú gúrúùpù bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn níjọba fẹ́ kó gbogbo. I mean, and this is why I'm saying it's only the Yoruba group, I mean the Yoruba youth group that can sit down and say, okay, at your dozen, and that is all. Because you know àgbàlagbà àti rightly said, eléwo ni irú wa lè sá mọ́. Ẹnìta lè sá mọ́ dúpẹ́ àwọn youth àwọn náà lè gbà láyé àwọn olówó àkílé ìjà olówó ní àmì nígbà tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa sọ̀rọ̀ àti ìgbà ìjọba àti fọ́ọ̀mù ìjọba àti ìwé.
and ready to work in this in this regime or in this life now. It can't get there. Because we understood that all these now, as the youth of whoever, and they this did not spoke for that they are all speaking for themselves. If you have never
council censor of 1973. Tí wọ́n fi lò. Wọ́n ní báwọn làwọn kọ́lé so anymore.